On this week's episode, we'll discuss a Peloton instructor's recent departure from the company.
And the refurbished bikes are now for sale. And much, much more.
Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. Here are your hosts, Amanda Siegel and John Pruitt.
Welcome to episode 74 of Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. I'm John Pruitt, joined as always by my co-host, Amanda Siegel. Hey now, Amanda.
Hey, John. How are you doing?
Doing good. It's nice in Michigan. 72 degrees right now. Can't complain.
Awesome. I mean, almost as good as Miami. What can I say?
I know. No humidity. We don't have that Miami humidity, but we got that warmth.
No humidity. Oh my goodness. I know. It certainly has. It's been, honestly, the weather's been awful. It's been rainy, like maybe one or two nice days, but all good. It's all good. Another busy week, I see. We really did have more than I anticipated happen. And I guess we should get right to it. Folks,
dive right in, yeah.
Yeah, so before we get started with the news, we do like to remind you how you can keep up to date with all of our content across all of our platforms. Every episode is released on our YouTube channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand side of the video and hit the notify button to make sure that you never miss an episode.
Yep, and if you just want to listen to us while you're on the go, we're on all traditional podcast platforms in podcast format. Just search Pelo Buddy TV, hit subscribe, click notifications so you never miss an episode, and leave us a review. We've really been enjoying a lot of positive reviews that we've received lately. We love to hear from you, and we love the feedback.
Yeah, and in fact, John, we actually got a couple. I'm going to go ahead and read a lovely one from Can I Geek? She went ahead and said, love this show. The Pelo Buddy podcast is my must listen to during my Sunday morning ritual after my weekly Jen Sherman ride, of course. It is wonderful. I love that. I thought you'd get a chuckle out of that. It's wonderful to have a place to hear all the Peloton news, instructor activity, and get recommendations. John and Amanda are great hosts as they are knowledgeable, but not overpowering in their presentation of the material. How about that, John? Sometimes I wonder, but thank you, Can I Geek? And while there are sometimes some technical blips and hiccups, yep, we're just a non-professional podcast that we like to put out there. These snafus don't get in the way of my enjoyment of the show. What's important to me is the information, which is flawless, and the presentation, which is entertaining. See you on the leaderboard. What a lovely review. Thank you so much for taking the time to send that and share with us. And there are a couple more, and we'll save those for next week. And yeah, folks,
I did see a couple, and I just want to point out a lot of reviews seem to like to appreciate the fact that we're ad-free. Yes. Which I think is nice, because if you're like me and you listen to a podcast and you at the start of it, they give some sort of like brought to you by yada. I can't hit the 15-second skip ahead button quick enough.
Right.
So, and we're all about Peloton. We're not promoting, any kind of diet regimen, or, we're not promoting our businesses or what our jobs are. So that's, the sole focus.
Yep. And it's for your enjoyment. So, I mean, you're absolutely right, John. And something else that you folks have really liked are our members' picks of the week. I know that one review did comment on the fact that it was a little long, and I had responded in saying that, you know what, it's at the end of the show. If you aren't interested in the picks of the week, turn us off after you've heard everything you need to hear. But there are tons of viewers and followers that are loving the picks of the week. So for now, we'll continue doing them. And lastly, folks, we are, of course, on Facebook and Instagram and now Twitter. So just search the Pelo Buddy and follow us on these platforms for the latest news. And now, John, let's get on with the show.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
Well, we're going to start off with some sad news that happened just after we had recorded last week. So everyone should know by now, have seen on social media that Peloton tread and strength instructor Chase Tucker has announced that he is leaving Peloton. Just last Friday, he posted on his Instagram page about leaving, and he had said, I've spoken many times about doing the hard work of clarifying your goals and focusing your energy, and that work has led me to focus on adventures and opportunity outside of Peloton. And I know, I've worked out with Chase before. He's a good instructor. He wasn't like one of my go-tos for strength or the tread, but I had forgotten that, like, I hadn't noticed him on the live schedule in at least a month. And his last live class was actually on March 1st. So it had been a few weeks.
Okay.
And it, unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's going to have a goodbye final class that a lot of the instructors who have departed Peloton have had in the past. Like Jennifer Jacobs, she had a big, like, 45-minute rock, 80s rock send-off ride before her farewell ride. But he joined Peloton at the beginning of the tread program when the tread studio opened in 2018, and he was teaching running, strength, stretching, tread boot camp from the get-go since that aspect of Peloton started in 2018. But there had been some speculation about his future in recent weeks. As he'd been noticeably absent from the schedule, he only had 2 strength classes listed in the upcoming schedule, which have since been removed. And additionally, the day before he announced his departure, the picture for the outdoor modality had been updated. It had been swapped to Kirsten Ferguson, and a lot of people caught that. So I don't think we'll ever know. Just like when a lot of instructors have departed from Peloton, we never get the full story from either side. But I know a lot of people loved him. A lot of people are sad that he's gone.
Yeah, I definitely saw some chatter, on social media with folks, being said. I didn't work out much with him either. But then again, I didn't do much strength and just started with tread and kind of went straight to the UK coaches. So for no other reason than that. And of course, everybody, I've been seeing stuff swimming around there. Everybody, there's this, clickbait kind of thing to make it into something scandalous that isn't.
I saw an article that someone posted. It just seemed kind of mean-spirited, and it was all about it was about like the workout satisfaction scores, and it said that he had the lowest score of the strength or tread instructors, but I don't think it was related to that. I just
And I guess, he had been vocal about the layoffs back when, Barry McCarthy came in, and people were saying it was because of that. I think everybody needs to kind of keep their opinions to themselves and let him be. I mean, it is sad. It's disappointing. We hate to see anybody leave Peloton.
Because it just doesn't happen very often.
Correct.
People are always so shocked. They always think something happened,
Right. And what?
Jumping to conclusions.
He said he was never quite a New Yorker. Coming to New York was something that was foreign for him. So I only wish him the best of luck. I hope that his next venture is successful and he does great. And I'm sure there'll be Peloton followers out there that will, utilize his services. And I wish him the best of luck. But it was certainly disappointing.
I was curious to see if he'll move back to his hometown of Chicago, because he loved to talk about Chicago in his classes. So
I
don't know if he'll stick around Manhattan.
We'll wait and see. Yep. And then, folks, on last week's show, we had mentioned that there was going to be no classes from today, Sunday, through Tuesday. And on this past Monday, Peloton did, in fact, confirm that they were closing both London and New York studios for their annual Pause and Reflect. They went on to remind...
I called it.
Call it.
I called it. I said pause and reflect. Wait for the official announce.
You said
heard it here first.
HIHF. Oh, you took the words out of my mouth, John. HIHF.
Not that that's big HIHF news, but whatever. I called it.
But again, I mean, the Peloton did go ahead and remind members that, of course, there's tons, of on-demand workouts. And, as we said last week, that it's a wonderful opportunity to catch up on the classes, that you could have missed. So hopefully you guys have bookmarked, tons out there and haven't been able to get to them yet. And this is now your opportunity to do so. And even though there aren't live classes, Peloton have gone ahead and, put the schedule together with encore classes. So if you do want to ride together with, friends and folks, you can just jump on an encore, and then the leaderboard starts fresh, and you're able to work out as if you're riding live. It's just not live, which
and
is,
I haven't
which is
checked.
great.
I haven't checked to see what the encore schedule is, but sometimes they encore some really popular classes, and it's really fun to do it again as an encore, because I know Jen Sherman a year or so ago, Jen Sherman's May 5th, 2019 Epic Sing-Along from Homecoming Weekend was an encore class randomly on one day, and Jen was riding it with everybody, and she was posting to her stories during the class. So sometimes it could be
that's so
really fun
cool.
classes. So definitely look at the encore schedule if you haven't already. And I know it's a nice break for me, because then I don't have to worry about cramming my schedule all around live, classes. What can I
100%.
squeeze in?
Yeah, 100%.
I actually go easier during, when they're closed and there's no live classes. So
Yeah.
It's a
No,
nice
no, no.
break.
I agree. I think it's a great break. And as I said, an opportunity for folks to jump onto bookmark classes that you haven't been able to get to, and just utilize their time to, even as you said, not go so hard. Sometimes we push ourselves and we want to kind of get to everything.
Yeah.
And, by the end of the week, we're exhausted from what we've done because, we're crazy. But
And I don't know about you, but I'm a 7-day. I used to take Saturdays off from riding, but I ride every single day.
yeah.
So it's nice. It'll be nice to go a little easier and give the body,
Exactly.
give my legs a break.
A little bit of a break. A little bit of a break. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it has been announced in a press release that the Peloton corporate offices in New York will be reopening on April 25th. They're going to be reopening. They shared the news the other night via press release. It goes into detail on what the new way of working at Peloton will entail. And a big part of this prioritizes flexible work. It says eligible employees will have two options. They can work from a Peloton corporate office between 1 and 5 days per week with complete flexibility to work remotely when not in the physical office, or they can work remotely full time. And these arrangements are contingent upon the employee's ability to perform their job responsibilities, yada, 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 without being physically there. It also says, in addition, eligible employees will have the ability to use work remotely days, which will allow them to work remotely up to 30 days per year.
Wow.
And they said this new model, they hope will help attract and retain top talent moving forward.
Yeah, I think so many people have gotten accustomed to, to being able to work from home, and it's helped in so many different aspects. And certainly, with the gas prices the way they are right now, for some folks having to drive in, long commutes, it may be nice to be able to, to do a couple days from home, and that in itself can save people a ton of money. So, yeah,
especially for the folks that live in Jersey.
Yeah.
Or Connecticut or Long Island that commute to the corporate office. I mean, that's just a rat race in itself, going to the train or if you're driving in. I don't know a lot of people that drive in to commute to New York City, but I mean, it's still it's like an hour and a half each way usually, however, you slice it.
Right.
Just,
right.
with the subway and New Jersey Transit. So.
But I looked at it.
It's nice to hear.
Yeah.
It's nice to hear that they have a fully remote option now. Maybe that'll be one of the things, before, I mean, when I, talked to the social media director, back in the fall, she just said working remotely is not enough. They couldn't offer a job because they don't have a fully, you have to be present in New York City at their office. So
Got it.
I'm just curious now if they're probably considering candidates that are in any part of the country.
All right. Well, don't be running off too quickly, John. I like you as my co-host.
think there's still a hiring freeze, so I don't.
Oh, true.
I don't think anything's gonna happen.
Nothing's happening now. Certainly,
but it's
from a
just
social
good to
media
it's good to
perspective.
know
But it's
now.
nice to know. Absolutely.
Yeah. Especially
All
for the
right.
current employees.
All right, folks. So for those of you that are interested in purchasing the new Peloton guide, which we understand will be released on April the 5th, we have noticed a little change. When the Peloton guide was first announced back in November of last year, it had been advertised that the guide would be bundled with a Peloton heart rate band. In the press release, it stated that the Peloton Guide is Peloton's most accessibly priced hardware product and would include the new Peloton heart rate band. Also, since November, we've seen it being advertised in so many different ways, including the band with the guide. It was even implied on the main landing page for the guide that it would be included. However, John, just this last week, we actually saw Peloton very quietly update the landing page for the guide, and the language now says weights and heart rate monitors sold separately. So it's nothing that has been made formal, but it is there and it does state this. So, our interpretation obviously is that, of course, would imply that the heart rate band will no longer be included with the bundle. The heart rate band had become available as a separate purchase back on January 31st. And as we mentioned on the show last week, Peloton has recently added support for Apple Watches as a heart rate monitor for all Peloton hardware, allowing members that already have a watch the ability to use it as a heart rate monitor. And we spoke last week about how easy it was and how accessible, and you could kind of use it on the tread and the bike, and the app. So our thoughts, I think, are with this new addition that it does kind of make the heart rate band somewhat redundant. And I guess the question now is, will Peloton lower the price for the guide now that the band is not included, or are they just going to simply use it as an opportunity to keep the price the same and maybe earn more profit for each device sold? So I guess we'll know the answer to that once the guide is launched next month. But, again, I think it may be a Barry McCarthy move in trying to figure out some profitability here. And by integrating the watch now into, the different modalities, the heart rate band maybe isn't as necessary. And it's a way to, eliminate that from the bundle. So we'll wait and see. But that was an interesting little tidbit we wanted to throw in there and share with you guys.
No, I'm still set on not getting the guide. Are you still?
Yeah,
are
not
you
getting
gonna
the
get it
guide.
yourself?
Nah, not getting the guide.
I am a fan of the heart rate. I got the heart rate band, and I love the heart rate band.
Yeah,
So,
again,
I'm a big fan.
You said that. And for me, the Apple Watch works great. And I've actually found it's interesting, though, because a couple weeks ago, it was definitely glitchy. I would try and use my watch and it wouldn't connect. I think it must have been because they were in the process of upgrading and changing things around, because now it's like perfect. I mean, I never have an issue. It connects, and you can either connect it on the bike, putting your wrist up and, connecting it that way. Or truthfully, when it starts a workout, it just pops up on your watch straight away, and you just hit OK, and you get the you get the ability to use it as a heart rate monitor. So I've been very happy using it that way. So it makes sense not to have to buy something else, which I kind of like.
I think she's stopped using her Peloton, the new heart rate band. She's just using her Apple Watch.
Yeah.
Exclusively. I don't have one, but I do like the new one I do like the Apple heart band, the Peloton heart band compared to my old Scosci Rhythm Plus. It just, it connects so much quicker, and it immediately starts showing my heart rate number. Yeah. Whereas the Scosci it would take a minute or two to finally register.
Got it. All right. Well, we'll see.
So we've got a new small feature now. I don't know if you've noticed it, if you've exited a class early on the tread or the bike, but it's on the bike, the tread, and if you're on the onepeloton.com website on a class, if you exit a class, whether it's I think it's just live live classes.
Yeah.
If you leave a class early, there'll just be like this little pop-up sort of in the upper right-hand corner. Just it says, why did you leave? And then it'll give you 8 different selections to choose from. Explicit language, too difficult, missing equipment, tech issues, too easy, or other. And the other, if you tap that, it just the little sidebar goes away. It doesn't ask you for more information or anything. So it looks like they're just, it's another data, collection point for them, to use, because they're all about, collecting data on everything and metrics. So I just thought it was interesting because I record a lot of the pre-show content on the app, or not on the app, rather on the web base version on my iPad. So I noticed that, when I would close the workout right after the pre-show ended, I would see that little pop-up there.
I was wondering. Yeah, I have not seen it. So that's interesting. I was actually, because the same thing happens about if you're, gone on, and just today I did an on-demand class, and for some reason my leaderboard wasn't working. So I did pop out of it, and it did say, did you want to end this class? But not what you're just saying. So I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah,
so
different.
That's interesting. Different. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay.
Well, shifting a little bit, for anyone who is on the fence about getting the bike or maybe getting a second bike, there is now a refurbished bike offer on the original Peloton bike only, not the Bike Plus. But Peloton's, they've announced a limited time offer on refurbished bikes from March 15th through April 24th. Customers can secure a refurbished bike directly from Peloton for $1,045 US plus $250 for delivery and setup, which is a savings of $450 compared to what it would cost for a new bike with delivery and setup. Comes with everything, new, refurbished, new pedals, any defective parts, have been swapped, repaired. Comes with a standard 12-month warranty that you get on the new bike. And also you have the option of adding the additional extended warranties by 1 or 2 plus years, or 24. I think you can get like 24 extra months, making it like a 39-month total warranty if you want to extend it fully by an extra 2 years, just like you would with the Bike or Bike Plus. But that's nice to have that peace of mind too if you were to get one. But there's a landing page for it. They sent out a marketing email, so it seems to kind of be invite only. But if you didn't get an email, in order to determine your eligibility, if you're in an area where you qualify, you're in a certain radius of where they have them, you have to initiate a chat with Peloton support on onepeloton.com on the website. So if you're interested, you got to go, start a chat if you didn't get that email. But yeah, so I know, I think they'll convert a lot of, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we swapped one of our bikes for a Bike Plus. So I was wondering when they were going to start that program.
Right?
They had mentioned it a while ago. So
Exactly. I've definitely been wondering when that was going to happen. So for those folks that just don't want the extra expense, that's kind of cool. Awesome. And then switching gears completely, this past Thursday was St. Paddy's Day, March the 17th. And of course, there were specific St. Patrick's Day classes that were dropped. I did like Daniel's little one Peloton reel that they posted, in that one had to make sure they said St. Paddy's Day and not St. Patty's
not St.
Day.
Patty's. Yeah.
He is adorable, and we'll talk about him more in a bit.
Could he be any more Irish? He could not be any more Irish.
Seriously, but when I share an instructor in the news about him, you're going to be surprised. I certainly was surprised when I learned a little bit more about him. But of course, Daniel, the Irish Yankee himself, is right there in offering one of the classes. He had a 45-minute boot Tread Boot Camp, which was live at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Justin Thompson Rule had a 20-minute run that was live at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. 2 classes were also dropped on demand. Daniel had a 10-minute arms and shoulders strength class, and Christine de Urclay had a 30-minute St. Patty's Day ride. So there were 4 new classes that were dropped, and I have not had an opportunity to jump on any of those. I definitely want to do Jocelyn's run, so that should be fun. And I don't know if you guys were aware, but Jocelyn is part Irish too. So she was grew up in I'm going to get this all mixed up now, but I'm almost sure it was Dublin. But she there is Irish in her, and she definitely, one of her parents is Irish. So yeah, thought that was interesting.
And we have a new artist series that was announced. It doesn't, I didn't see what the class dates are yet, but we know it's Karol G, and it's going to be a Spanish artist series. We previously had one in English with this artist, Karol G, but it looks like we're going to have a yoga class with Mila. Cycling class with Mila, a yoga class with Mariana Fernandez. But as of today, I didn't see anything more about when those classes, if they were live, they're going to be on demand. But Karol G, yeah, it hasn't been announced yet. Karol G's chart-topping blend of genres is flirty, feminine, and unapologetically fierce. I don't know Karol G. I haven't. It doesn't ring a bell.
Not familiar with her either. No, not familiar with her either. Not familiar with her either. But yeah, they are absolutely popping these artist series out
Just
one
cranking
by
them
one.
out. Yeah.
They are, and there is a German-specific artist series, John. It was also dropped this past week. Helene Fischer. She is one of Germany's most famous singers, has won tons of awards, and is classified, I think, as a folk singer, a German folk singer. And, you guys have heard me talk about Benny and just how fantastic he is and how much I just absolutely adore him and am enjoying riding with him. But I reached out and saw that he was going to be doing a ride. So I asked him a little bit more about it. And yeah, he was quite emotional, sharing, who Helene Fischer was and telling me how he was just beside himself that Peloton had been able to secure an artist series with her, and that he was one of the instructors that was going to be, offering classes with Helene Fischer. So yeah, very popular German singer. And there are 4 classes that are going to be dropped with this series beginning this past Thursday. Eric Yeager dropped a 20-minute body weight strength class at 5:30 p.m. German time, so 12:30 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday the 17th, as well as a 5-minute full body stretch that actually went straight on demand. And then our boy Benny Adami had a 30-minute Helene Fischer live ride on Friday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time, 5:30 p.m. German time. And on Saturday, Marcel, and I know I'm going to butcher that, and Benny was so sweet because I reached out to him and said, please help me pronounce his last name because I don't want to butcher it. And of course, now I'm live and I'm butchering it. Say it for me, John.
Marcel Maurer?
Maurer. I believe that is.
Maurer.
I believe that is. So thank you, Benny, for that help. But Marcel Maurer had a 30-minute run, which dropped at 9 a.m. Eastern time, 2 p.m. German time on Saturday. At the time of recording, we understood that German tennis star Angelique Gerber was going to feature as that special guest, that special guest option that they have on the leaderboard. Tab. Yeah, for Marcel's run. Unfortunately, I'm not sure whether it happened or not because we do record a day or two ahead. But that would have been exciting, I guess, for German folks that jumped on the run if they got to run with her. So I wish that we didn't record early because I hopefully will have a amazing pick of the week with Benny's ride, because I know that he was quite, as I said, emotional about doing this ride. He actually said that he had used one of her songs that was somewhat controversial for his Peloton audition, and he believes that's what got him in, and he shared that with me, and I thought that that was so special. So I'm looking really forward to doing that ride with hopefully tons of folks on the leaderboard. So amazing new artist series ride.
Yeah, well, we had a very special live DJ tread run with DJ John Michael and Adrian Williams. It was an Ultra Records live DJ run. And as John Michael posted on Instagram, he says, as a DJ, the name Ultra has been synonymous with not just my record collection, but an amazing catalog of legendary dance music hits for the past 25 years. He says, this weekend begins the kickoff of Miami Music Week, and we thought we'd take you on an all-live DJ run through some of the best dance music that you are sure to hear down there. So if you didn't catch that one live, Friday live DJs are just, I've never done a live DJ run, but the live DJ rides are always just super fun with Cody and John Michael on Friday nights. You know, it's just like a little party at the studio. So I'm sure it was a blast.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, and then switching gears, on Saturday, May the 14th, folks, the American Society of Breast Surgeons Foundation are actually doing a fundraiser. It's going to be virtual. And for those of you who would like to join in while supporting breast cancer survivors, can do so on your Peloton. It is our understanding that the foundation have approached Sam Yo, and they are looking at collaborating and doing a ride with Sam. So as we get more information, we'll certainly share it with you here on Pelo Buddy TV, as well as on the website. But you can head over to runsignup.com and learn more, and of course register in the meantime. So that will be May 14th.
All right. Well, we had some new top-level hires at the corporate office of Peloton. They recently filled 2 key positions last week as new CEO Barry McCarthy looks to solidify his top-level team. Peloton hired Andrew Rendich as Chief Supply Chain Officer. Peloton made the announcement via press release. They said Peloton has also announced that Sherry Eaton has promoted to Chief People Officer. Eaton has worked with Peloton for nearly 3 years, will report directly to Barry McCarthy. They go on to say in this role, she'll oversee global and end-to-end Peloton people operations, including talent acquisition, people experience, and development. Under her leadership, Peloton was voted one of the 25 best places to work in New York City by employees uncomparably.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So they're beefing up. They're beefing up their corporate repertoire.
Got some new blood. Got some new blood in the supply chain officer role. So hopefully, get those bikes and treads out quicker.
Exactly. And I guess we are going to roll right into Instructor in the News. We are right at that point, folks. First up in Instructor in the News is my Aditi Shah. She has joined the PUMA family as the brand's newest global train PUMA ambassador.
PUMA. Isn't it PUMA?
South African accent, PUMA.
It's not It's not Puma. It's PUMA.
Puma. It's the Puma. All right, John.
There you go. There you go. Pew.
Aditi, if I messed that up, my sincere apologies. But I am very proud of you, and so is the rest of your Peloton family. It's awesome to see her, and she looks just absolutely stunning. As I said, she did share it on her social media this past week, and she was really excited about the collaboration. So nice to see her out there as a new brand ambassador for PUMA.
So she joins now Selena, who was recently announced as a PUMA brand partner, and I think Olivia is
a brand partner too.
PUMA too. I want to say Olivia.
All
yeah,
right.
there's another one. I think it's Olivia. So
good for them.
Yeah. And also, Cody was this week's interview on Shape, talking about why Peloton, why he always takes 2 rest days a week. He's mastering the art of R&R and napping and recovery within that as well. And also, if you didn't see it on social media, Cody last week, he was I don't know if he's still in London as this episode comes out, but he was in London posting on Thursday pictures with most of the London team walking down the street on, what is it, Laurel Ave?
Floral
Ave, right outside the studio.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really clear if he was just stopping by or if he went to London for work-related, Peloton work-related things going on there.
Yeah, I'm sure by the time this episode airs, we'll definitely have seen more, because there was quite a bit on social, John. From Ben posting to Leanne posting to Cody posting. But yeah, I have to say that article on Cody was fantastic, and kudos to the author, Michelle, who is really somebody that I absolutely admire. She is a Peloton member herself, and writes for some of the top magazines. And Michelle has been able to secure pretty much, some amazing interviews over the last few weeks and months. And it's
the author
really
of the
awesome.
Shape article?
Yeah, of the Shape article. So she had done Bradley's, and I had reached out to her actually when she did Bradley's and complimented her, because I really thought that she, captured the essence of who Bradley was and his struggles so beautifully. And she did the same with Cody. She said it was really like a dream come true getting to interview specifically Cody. And she said that when he called her his boo, she nearly fell off the chair. So, I think it's so awesome though that, that here, just regular members get to, utilize their professions and be able to do fun things like that. So huge shout out to Michelle. I think that she's done an amazing job, and I'm looking forward to seeing many more of the instructors being interviewed by her, and for us getting to learn, a little bit more about them. So really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed that. And then another brand ambassador, Kendall Toole. Kendall was just announced on her social that she has partnered with Spiritual Gangster as a brand ambassador. And I'm sure tons of you have seen within the Peloton apparel before kind of Peloton went purely Peloton apparel. Spiritual Gangster was a great brand. And in fact, ironically, and I only realized that as I was getting ready to record, this particular top that I'm wearing is a Spiritual Gangster Peloton top. But Kendall, yeah, they have some great stuff. I love that tie-dye sweatshirt that everybody wears with a big P on it.
That's Spiritual Gangster.
That's Spiritual Gangster. They have some great stuff. So, she is now a new brand ambassador. And she said on her Instagram that she is just absolutely thrilled because her mantra, the mantra that she used, is their mantra. And for her, that was really special, just to kind of, be out there fighting the fight. And I guess that's what they believe in. So it was lovely to see that. So huge kudos to Kendall. And of course, she looks stunning in everything that they have to offer. So huge kudos to her.
Is it women's only, or is it men's too?
John, I'm not sure if it's men's. I mean, I certainly know the women's stuff. I do not know whether they have men's apparel as well. Not sure.
Well, Robin has a new interview on a podcast called Second Life. It's on all podcast platforms, but we link to it on pelobuddy.com if you want a quick, easy way to get to it. It's titled How Best-Selling Author and Peloton Head Trainer Robin Arzon is Transforming Lives. So check out that one. There always seems to be a new instructor podcast every week in addition to Fitness Flipped with Tune Day.
which I've noticed we've kind of like just left out of the episode this week. I don't even know who was interviewed. I haven't listened to it, not out of any, ill intention other than just haven't had time. But I'll probably get a chance this weekend. Did you get a chance to listen?
I listened to a little bit of Tuesdays. I can't even remember. I couldn't even tell you what the theme was this week and who the guests were. I was looking on Thursday for the member, which member they were featuring.
And there was
I was about to call it interview, but I can't really say interview because it's not an interview. But which member they were featuring this week? But I haven't checked since Thursday. If that dropped
maybe they watched the show. Maybe they watched our show last week, John, and they realized that what they were doing was not well received, and they needed to change things up a little bit. So they put it on hiatus. Who knows?
Was there chatter? Because I just on the Peloton post or on Tune Days, I just see people. I love it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't really see any criticism anywhere, so I don't know if there's chatter on the Facebook sub.
I heard a couple.
Okay.
And a couple people messaged me after the show last week and said John was right on point. We felt exactly the same way. So I guess and you know what? Good for them for not putting it out there and not. I hate the negativity that I see out there. So whatever. We didn't enjoy it, and whatever. But there were quite a few people that had reached out to me and said, "Boy, John really didn't like it," and we agree. So I guess we did get that much. And then one last little bit of instructor in the news is Daniel McKenna. As I said earlier in the show, he actually was interviewed for GaelicLife.com this past week, and some interesting nuggets of information that we got from this interview was that Daniel was born, as we can imagine, to Irish parents, but in the Bronx. He was not born in Ireland. So his parents had been out here in the States, and he was in fact born in the Bronx. And they moved back to Monaghan, Ireland when he was 4. So hence the strong Irish accent, because he was so young when he moved back. But it was not until he was 4 that he moved out there. We also learned that he played football. That would be soccer to the Americans, but both here stateside as well as across the pond back in Ireland. And we learned that Daniel was discovered by Peloton when he was seen leading outdoor fitness classes when COVID-19 lockdown forced him to think outside of the box. So I thought that was incredibly interesting. I guess he was out there, in Manhattan, whether it be in Central Park or one of the parks, and was discovered that way. And they brought him on. He also shared that he takes pride in the feedback that he gets from members. He says he wants people to have a great time and enjoy the banter as well as a good workout. So I love that he takes the time to read the DMs, listens to what you guys have to say about him. He definitely has a very strong following. As I've said before, I mean, he's tough. His strength workouts are really, really tough, but he tries to make them fun too. So I thought that was nice to hear. And then some birthdays. Did you capture those, or do you want me to go ahead and share those?
So last week, last Wednesday, Sam Yo celebrated his birthday, and Marcel Dinkins was on last Thursday, and Jeffrey McEachern was on Friday. Yep. German tread instructor Jeffrey.
Yeah, so happy birthday to the instructors. And I guess, John, we are leading right into picks of the week. So I will go ahead and start this week with mine. John will do his, And then we will share the amazing pics all you viewers and listeners shared with us online when Chris posted on Pelo Buddy. So I will kick it off. First up, last week was all about Donna Summer. The artist series, as we know, was dropped the week before, but I got to do Maddie Majacomo's run last weekend, and folks, it was magical. I will say that I actually learned that Maddie was actually not feeling great on the run. And I could definitely hear him struggling to breathe at times. Apparently, he was not feeling great. He was told not to do it. And he said, no, it had been postponed already. And he wanted to get out there and do it. And I have to say, he gave it everything. Clearly, he's a huge Donna Summer fan. You could sense it in the run. The run was, as I said, it was magical. It was amazing. We got to hear everything from Love to Love You Baby, Hot Stuff, Bad Girls, Dim All the Lights, on the radio, I Feel Love, Last Dance. And he couldn't have picked, I don't think, any better Donna Summer tracks. What I loved, John, about the run was that he shared some amazing stories along the way, and it certainly, I felt, made those 30 minutes just fly by. I loved hearing how emotional he got when he found out when Donna Summer had passed away, and how he had played her tunes on the radio in the bar he was working at for days after. He had said that he had taken himself off into one of the restrooms and sobbed for an hour. He just said he was just so sad when he had found out that she had passed away. And then, went over to the DJ and said, we gotta do this. We gotta spin some Donna Summer tracks. And the bar went on to play them for a few days after that. So that Donna Summer run actually dropped on March the 11th. That was Friday at 7:30 a.m. And for those of you that still haven't had a chance to do it, I tell you not to miss this one for sure. And it pairs nicely with my second pick of the week, which is, yes, John Husking's 10-minute Donna Summer stretch. I think that John picked up where Maddie left off with a couple of the same tracks on the stretch. But you guys already know how I feel about John, so adding him as a post-run stretch was absolutely perfect. That also dropped on Friday, March the 11th. And you can find those on demand. And I got to tell you, John, I've said this 1,000 times in my picks of the week, but stretching and not stretching makes such a difference. And I absolutely feel it.
Yeah.
For sure. So, they do those for a reason, folks. And hopefully the ones that we recommend are ones that you enjoy too. But definitely take those extra 5 or 10 minutes to do them. Really, really feel strongly about that. Next up, to the bike and my new favorite, Benny Adami. I had to include this one. Benny did a 20-minute Latin ride on Thursday, March the 17th, which I caught on demand a little bit later in the day because it dropped at like 4:30 a.m. Eastern time. So I was not doing it live, but caught it later. And they're really trying to push these rides out and these modalities out quicker. So it was on demand, pretty early on. And it was incredible. I don't know if being down in Miami, I get to appreciate the Latino culture that's all around me, but it certainly helped, and the music was electric. The songs that Benny picked, which he told me after, was from help from fellow instructor Camila Ramon. So he said he had reached out to Camila and had asked for some help. He said it was not his genre, although you would never have thought so if you were on the ride, because he knew the words to most of them. He was singing along. But I honestly felt that he picked some of the best Latino songs. My favorite was Suavemente by Elvis Crespo. That is one that I listened to over and over again. So hearing it on the bike just couldn't have been more perfect for me. I absolutely loved that ride. It was just 20 minutes of partying on the bike. I love Latinx music, so it was amazing. And then last up from me was Aditi Shah and Anna Greenberg's 2-for-1 Women's History Month Yoga Flow that dropped on Tuesday, March the 15th. I love my Tuesdays with Aditi. I share that often with you guys, but having her share it with Anna, I thought was absolutely perfect, especially for Women's History Month. The two of them together are so lovely, and they really made the flow so fun and fly by. Obviously, you know, Aditi spoke about Anna's pregnancy, and Anna had a beautiful, cute little bump, and the wardrobe staff had done a sequined big heart on her belly, which was just adorable. But they were in matching outfits in leopard print and pink leggings, and they just looked adorable. It was a hard flow. I believe it was an intermediate flow, but I did what I could, and I loved it. So definitely recommend you guys to do it. And I guess, John, I was in good company because one of the members picked it as well. So Step M Lane, hopefully I'm saying that right. Step M Lane agreed and picked this one too, saying Anna and Aditi were everything. And Step M Lane, I agree with you. So, John, let's go ahead and have you go next.
All right. So my first one is with our German friend Benny Adami. So his 30-minute 80s pop ride from Friday, March 11th. This one he solicited some requests from, so he got in a couple of my songs. Dancing on the Ceiling by Lionel Richie is one of my favorite 80s songs, especially to work out to. And what was funny was he commented during the ride that he actually didn't know that song until I sent it to him. But he got such a kick out of it. And then Erasure's A Little Respect. He played some Prince, some Corey Hart, Soft Cell, just a super fun 80s pop ride. And then staying on the bike, Jen Sherman's 45-minute classic rock ride from last Sunday, the 13th. She started off with some Grateful Dead, got the Eagles. She played Rolling Stone's Monkey Man, which is a really good song, which I haven't really heard much on the Peloton platform. She played Leave On by Elton John, Steve Miller Band, The Who, so real good. Put some Bruce in there. Real solid playlist of classic rock with Jen. And then going back, switching over to the tread with German instructor Jeffrey McEachern. I had never done a live class with him before, but he had an 80s, I think it was a 20-minute or a 30-minute 80s run before this hike that I took, and I lost track of time and I missed the run. So I took the hike right after that. It was a 20-minute hike from Tuesday the 15th. And he played some Taylor Swift, some Cher, Madonna, Carly Rae Jepsen. But he was just super, you could just see his energy. He was smiling the whole time. He just, you could really see his personality coming through. So despite, not knowing, I could kind of tell when he told us to increase the elevation. And, it was a hike, so I didn't have to worry. Like I could kind of, understand what sort of pace. Yeah, a hiking pace. So it wasn't as bad as, I haven't done a run in German yet, but I'm sure once it goes on demand, you'll see the elevation and speed ranges that they typically add, after it drops. But he was great. So another new favorite German instructor. If you haven't checked him out, definitely check him out. And it was fun because it was a super small, intimate leaderboard. I think there was 37 people on the leaderboard, with just, tread or tread pluses. So that was nice. That's the nice thing about a lot of the German classes. The leaderboards are much smaller compared to the other live classes from, with the English speaking instructors. So it kind of feels more intimate. It kind of feels like the 2007, the really early days of Peloton when, there was so many less members on live classes. And then sticking with the tread, I finally got to reserve our tread this past Wednesday for Rebecca Kennedy's 45-minute hiking boot camp. And it was super fun. So I know Jackie and I are going to have to alternate, because she loves Rebecca Kennedy's hikes. But it was a great class. And I loved, the hiking. We went up to elevations. We were maxed out at 15 and 12.5 if you have the tread. But I loved it. It was nice not to have to like run and sprint and then switch to the transition to the floor, like exhausted and winded, like I am a lot of times on other tread boot camps. So it was just it was just a real nice change up of format. And it got there was a lot, 400 plus people on the leaderboard, which is a lot for a live tread class, during a weekday morning.
Right.
Normally it might top out at about 175 people on a weekday morning tread boot camp. But yeah, people like their hikes, so they showed up.
I mean, I think that Rebecca, I have to say, I was unable to get on Wednesdays, and one Wednesday, and I was so bummed because I loved the last one. I mean, Jackie and I were on it together, and I will definitely do it because I do think that it's a wonderful way to get in the strength and be on the tread at the same time. And there were tons of members that had picked this one too. Did you grab that, or did you want me to go ahead and share who they were?
I've got the
Were you able
list.
to get that? Perfect.
And I've got it. I put it on my computer here. And a little honorable mention. I picked a Cody, I think a boot camp last week, so I don't like to double dip too much. Although we're giving Benny Adami's getting a lot of love. And I said to him, "You're getting spoiled on Pelo Buddy," and he goes, "I don't know what that means." I said, "You're getting lots of attention, and I'm sure your dad is loving it."
Loving it. I know.
But Cody's 30-minute Donna Summer ride, super fun. I mean, Donna Summer, just like dance, disco hits. So and the comedy, the Cody-isms were flowing on that ride. So a lot of funny moments, but a great ride from Tuesday, March 15th. If you haven't hit up that Cody class, and also I see that Cody, he hasn't done a 60-minute ride in years, but he has a 60-minute ride coming up on Saturday, March 26th. So mark your calendars. It's on the schedule. Hopefully it doesn't disappear. Hopefully I don't get a notification email that it's canceled. But I plan on doing my next milestone with him on that one. So that'll be fun. Saturday morning class. He never teaches Saturdays, let alone 60 minutes.
Yeah.
So 60-minute groove ride with Cody. So I'm super pumped with that. Hopefully it still happens. So
yeah. You'll be able to do it. And you'll be able to do it.
So let's move on to some of the member.
Yeah, so I want to just go back.
Yeah, so Rebecca Kennedy. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and share that, and then I'll move on.
Yeah, so looks like I Am Kimmy Ho, Instan Echo, Daphne Rill. They submitted those. They said low impact, but such a killer workout for RK's 45-minute hiking boot camp.
Awesome. All right. So as far as members go, first up, Jess King. Jess King did a 20-minute metal ride on March the 10th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And Jackick Cash, again, I've said this every week, I now understand what the instructors go through in trying to get your leaderboard names, because some of them are very difficult to decipher. So Jack Kick Cash, work, said it was cathartic and so fierce. It was also her first metal ride. So for those of you that like metal, make sure you jump on that one.
Interesting to see how it compares to Kendall, because Kendall seems to have the market cornered on the metal rides, and those are known as pukers. Those are known to be super hard. So I wonder if I'm sure Jess King was balls to the wall on this one as well, because her sweat steadies are no joke. So
yeah.
I'm sure it was tough.
All right.
So switching over to the tread, we had a couple members submit Selena's 30-minute pop run from March 10th. I think I did this one live. It was her last run before she got married. Yeah, I definitely remember that one. So she was so excited, happy. Morgan Michelle MMD and Nittany Lions CO Colorado submitted this one. They said it was Selena's last run. It was great to watch during the last work song, brought tears to my eyes about her journey to loving herself and it leading her to find the love of her life. And what was interesting, I remember now, she said her fiance, I think his name's Matt. He was at the Tread Studio in the early days. I guess she met him there because he would take her class.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he would take running classes at the Tread Studio.
Interesting. I didn't know that. So that's a little bit of interesting information. Wow, awesome. All right, next up, also on the tread, Tobias Hines, 20-minute 80s walk. That was from March the 12th at 4 a.m. Eastern. And Bertha C. Runs MD, who I have run many a time on the leaderboard together, said awesome's 80 music, and he gives off fun. Dad Vibes said easily adaptable to taking outside. So that's awesome.
Oh, I thought the comment from Bertha C said was awesome 80s music and he gives off fun dad vibes. I thought he gave off dad, but it was dad vibes that gave that other comment.
Dad Vibes said, yep, easily adaptable to taking outside. That's how I assume.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, too funny.
Well, we had a shadow boxing submission. We haven't given a shadow boxing pick. Alligators submitted Kendall's 20-minute shadow boxing class from March 11th, and she said it was great energy and plenty of sweat.
Yeah, I like to see that. And then this one was one that I'm sure must have been a toughie. So Christine de Urkel did a 90-minute Power Zone endurance ride. It was at 1:30 p.m. on March the 13th, and Le Chic Jacqueline, Special KO OK0455, and No Bullshit all said it was their picks of the week. Some of the comments were, it made me proud, Christine at her finest, great motivation throughout. So awesome. Great job, guys.
Nice. And Lindsay T. Gamble and Alex Maples, 529, both submitted Allie Love's 30-minute Hit and Hills from this past, the 15th. It's her 60-minute class that week.
All right. And Kelly Sinelli, she picked Olivia Amato's 45-minute pop run. It was from the 15th of March at 9:30 a.m. And Kelly Sinelli said, great music. Nice to see Olivia getting a pick of the week. So that's awesome. And a 45-minute one at that. I'm sure it must have been tough.
And as I already mentioned, Cody's Donna Summer Ride, but we probably had the most people submit Cody's 30-minute Donna Summer Ride. One of the comments here that I see you put in there, just needed to feel good and dance.
Yeah, and that was, do you have the list or do you want me to read out? Because everybody loves to hear their leaderboard.
Oh, I got to read all those. I have to read all those names?
Absolutely, John. Go for it.
Lori 5387, Yacht, all these numbers, Yacht Girl 1868, Tori Bio Heather, Dark and Moody, Bonfire 12, Jess Dalton, Lisa P 11, Moochie Mom, and Minnie 1979. Thank you for submitting the Cody class.
Seriously, now don't you? I mean, I don't know if I could be an instructor. These leaderboard names, it's hard to say them all sometimes and keep shouting them out. But I see that your buddy Alex Toussaint has mastered Kenny Banya. I mean, it is just wonderful.
And he says it loud and proud now. He shouted me out.
So
he shouted me out twice last week, and the second time he said Kenny Banya. He goes, I said his name because it took me 5 years to get it right. I just like to say it now.
I love it, John. I love it. I love it. All right, let's round these up. Rad Lopez, a 30-minute hit cardio. So Skitchick 15.
Skitchick. You got it.
Had recommended it. That was.
Oh no. Ski Chick 15.
Ski Chick. You see? Ski Chick 15.
She needs to Ski Chick 15. If you're watching this, you need to make that C capital, because then somebody else is going to go skitchick. You got to capitalize that C.
Too funny. Oh my goodness.
All right,
go ahead.
And we're rounded out with Mariana Fernandez's 20-minute Karol G yoga flow from March 16th. Amazing class with an amazing vibe. Great class for a rest day. There was no leaderboard name with that one, so it was an anonymous submission, I guess.
Maybe, or maybe I neglected.
I guess you left off the leaderboard name.
I maybe left it out. Well, guys, again, thank you so much. And there were so many. There were so many. We tried to. I know that Chris was very diligent in trying to pick ones that we hadn't used before, give new instructors some love, and we really appreciate it because it's nice to get some of these different workouts. And I love the way that Chris is now putting them up on the Pelo Buddy Instagram page as well as the website. So if you missed any of these and you'd like to go back and see which some of the picks of the week are, absolutely head over to IG after Sundays, after this is released on Sunday, and or go to the website and get them from there. So thanks, guys. I mean, we really appreciate you sharing that. And I guess, John, that wraps up another show. It was a good one. I actually liked this one this week. I know.
Good flow today. Good flow today.
We did. We got through it all, even with a couple of my pronunciations that weren't right. It's okay. Aditi will forgive me.
A couple butcherings.
All right, folks. So I guess thank you. Thank you again for watching, listening, and spending time with us. And from me here, bye everybody.
And from me here in sunny Michigan, thank you for tuning in. And as always, we will see you on the leaderboard.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your source for everything Peloton, by the community, for the community. Work out with us using the Pelo Buddy TV leaderboard tag and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Pelo Buddy. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.